One more, do you think? Yes, 1, 2, 3 bulbs in that pot. Should be fine.
I brought your seeds.
Oh, thank you. That's good. Hello. I'm Brian.
And I'm Sue.
And this is our friend Bertie the Badger. And we've just finished making 3 videos for young people.
All about letters and numbers.
And colours and shapes.
And all the seasons of the year.
Hope you enjoy them. Bye. Say
Bye.
bye-bye, Bertie. That's good.
Right, where are we putting the sunflower seeds?
Sunflower
They need
seeds.
a
We need a
big
big
pot.
Little big. Hello, I'm Brian, and I'm working at the bottom of my garden planting some bulbs. Now, a friend of mine, Bertie Badger, was meant to be helping me, but he hasn't turned up. I think he must be having a sleep somewhere, which he often does. So I'll just cover these up with some soil. Let's see if we can find him. He might be in my shed. Bertie, are you there? Nope, he's not there. He could be behind the rock. Bertie? No, not behind the rock. He often likes to sleep around the haystack. And sometimes underneath my anorak. I think I've found him. Oh, no. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Where can he be? Perhaps by the logs. Yes. Wake up, Bertie. Come on, wake up. Yeah, that's right. Say hello. Now, you said you were going to help me plant some bulbs. Well, it's a beautiful spring day. There's lots to do.
Hello, Brian.
Hello, Sue.
Hello, Bertie. Hello.
Bertie's just woken up, and I think he's ready to start work.
Oh, well, that's good. Because I've got some special seeds for Bertie to plant and look after.
Better get started then. Up there?
Yep, that's it. Jump up, Bertie. Let's see, we've got everything we need. A big flower pot. Some fresh earth down there. Got some earth in the flower pot as well. And our special seeds. Now, we need some water.
I'll get the water.
Thank you. Right, let's tip the seeds out. That's it. There. Now, we only need 1 seed for this pot because the flower's going to be a big flower. So let's pop it in the middle here. There we are, Bertie. Now, need to put some earth on top of the seed. I think I'll put Brian's gloves on for this. It's a bit mucky. And the other one. Whoops, got holes in here. That's it. Cover the seed up. And pat it down gently.
Is there water?
Yes, we need quite a bit of water on there, Brian.
All right.
You won't forget to water them, will you, Bertie?
How many seeds have you put in?
Or just 1.
What kind?
They're sunflower seeds, and they're going to big, tall flowers.
They sometimes grow as tall as me. Taller. Right up there. Good. Well, Bertie, we'd better find somewhere nice and sunny so that your sunflower will grow tall and strong. Maybe you've planted some seeds or bulbs. Look after them, won't you? There. That's quite a good spot for it, I should think, Bertie. Well, springtime is the season of the year when everything starts to grow again. Like the leaves on the trees, and the flowers, like these daffodils. And the birds build their nests in hedges and trees, like the one in our tree, ready to lay their eggs and have their babies.
Do you know what else happens in springtime, Bertie? Where the weather starts to change, doesn't it? And we don't feel quite so cold when we go outside, especially on nice spring days like today. I've painted some spring pictures. There's a picture of some lambs with their mother.
You see lots of baby animals running around the fields with their mothers in springtime.
My next picture is a picture of some birds in a nest. A bit like the bird in Brian's garden. It's a nice sunny day today, but sometimes in springtime it can get quite windy. We have lots of rain showers, even when the sun's shining. Bertie, do you know what you can see sometimes if you look up into the sky then? That's right. A rainbow. Next time it's raining and the sun's out, you look into the sky. See if you can see a rainbow.
Of course, the trees, flowers and plants all need sun, rain and wind to help them to grow.
I know a rhyme about springtime and flowers growing. It goes, March winds and April showers bring forth May flowers. You do it with me. March winds and April showers bring forth May flowers.
And now, Bertie, I think we should have a story all about springtime, don't you?
This is Bertie's storybook, isn't it, Bertie? And today's story is a springtime story, and it's called The Flower Fairies. It was a lovely spring morning, and Jane and her father had decided to go for a walk in the park. The sun was shining, and the birds were singing in the trees. Jane spotted some pretty blue flowers growing in a circle at the bottom of one of the trees and bent down to pick one, when suddenly she heard a tiny voice say, "Ow! Ow!" Jane looked all around, but she couldn't see anyone. Then she heard the voice again. "Ow! You're hurting me!" The voice seemed to be coming from one of the flowers. She looked closer at the flower. She was about to pick it, but she couldn't believe her eyes, for sitting in the flower was a tiny fairy. "You're squashing me," said the fairy angrily, looking up at Jane. "Oh, I'm sorry," gasped Jane, letting go the flower. "You should be more careful," said the fairy, shaking her wings free. "Didn't your mother tell you never to pick other people's flowers?" "I really am very sorry," said Jane. "I didn't realise this flower belonged to anyone." Jane didn't really know what to say to the fairy. She could hardly believe she was actually talking to a real fairy. "Of course it does, silly," said the fairy. "Every flower has its own fairy. I thought everyone knew that." "I didn't," said Jane. "Do you mean that every one of these flowers has its own fairy?" "Yes, all these flowers and all the flowers in your garden as well," said the fairy. "So just be careful and don't squash them." "I don't have a garden," said Jane, "so I don't have any flowers. That's probably why I didn't know about flower fairies." "Oh," said the fairy. "You can still grow flowers without a garden, you know. You can just grow them in a pot. You just have to plant some seeds in some earth in a pot and water them. Soon the seeds will grow into flowers, and each flower will have a fairy. Here, said the fairy, and she held up a small, round, seed-like object. Plant this in the pot, and I promise it will grow into a beautiful flower, as long as you promise never to squash fairies again. Oh, I promise, said Jane. I'll go home and I'll plant it right away. Oh, thank you so much. Goodbye. Goodbye, said the fairy, tucking herself back in amongst the petals of her flower. And don't forget your promise. I won't, called Jane, as she ran back to her father. When they got home, Jane's father helped her plant the seed, and very soon a beautiful blue flower started to grow. Jane placed the pot on the sill outside her bedroom window so she could see it as soon as she woke up. She was so happy that she had a flower all of her own. And of course, the flower had its very own fairy that only Jane could see. Here you are, Bertie, a springtime story. Did you enjoy that? That's good. Bertie's looking sleepy again.
Yes, I don't think he's going to stay awake long enough to help me with any more work in the garden. So, before he goes to sleep, we'd better say goodbye. Say bye-bye, Bertie. That's right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Come on, you can settle down now. And you can have a look at some of the things that happen in the spring. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello. Whew. What a lovely sunny day. It's too hot to do any work in my garden today, so I'm just relaxing in the sunshine. I love the summertime, don't you? Just lazing about. My friend Bertie the Badger has been having a paddle in the paddling pool. But now he's put a knotted hanky on his head. He's gone to find a nice shady place under the tree where he can lie down and curl up and have a sleep. One of his favourite things. What do you like to do best in the summertime? Well, it's time to wake him up because we're going to have a picnic in the garden today, and Sue will be here soon with his favourite foods. So, wake up, Bertie. Bertie. Come on. We've got to go and find a nice sunshade. I think there's one in my shed. Come on, Bertie. Mind your tail. There we are. Hello, Sue.
Hello, Brian. Hello, Bertie. Isn't it hot today? Hello. I love the summer, don't you? You can stay outside and play all day long. Do you like my new sunglasses? Lots of people wear sunglasses in the summer, don't they? To protect their eyes from the summer sun.
I like your straw hat, too.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice. Don't need mine under here, really, do I? People wear lots of different things in the summer, don't they? Let's have a think. Have a sort of game. See if we can think of different things that people wear in the summer. Summer hats.
T-shirt.
Swimming trunks.
Sunglasses.
Armbands for swimming.
Sandals.
Shorts.
Sundresses.
Grass skirts.
Oh, I can't think of any more.
I don't think I can think of any more. Can you? No, I can't at the moment. Animals grow different coats in the summer. They're called summer coats, especially to keep them cool.
And we need to protect the flowers and plants in the garden. We need to water them every day so they grow, don't we, Bertie?
Well, Bertie's been looking after his sunflower, haven't you? He's doing very well.
Oh, yes, it's lovely. Well done, Bertie. Should we have our picnic now?
Oh, please.
All right, Brian, there's a plate for you.
Thank you.
And one for you, Bertie. And we've got some cups here. And a flask of drink. We eat lots of different food in summer, like salads, and drink lots of cold drinks. Yes, Bertie. And we eat ice cream and ice lollies. But we don't have those till afterwards.
Oh.
We see lots of different insects in the summer, like butterflies and ladybirds. And we see the bees collecting pollen from the flowers.
There's something else that people do in the summer. They play games.
Where's he going, Bertie?
Catch.
Oh!
They play tennis. We could have a game of tennis after the picnic, and Bertie can be the umpire,
Okay.
keep score. But I think first, before the picnic, we ought to have the story, because I know what'll happen. You'll eat so much that you'll go off to sleep.
Are you ready for a summer story, Bertie? Let's take my sunglasses off. Here we are. You look after them for me. Thank you. Put them down there. Now, this story was called A Day by the Sea. Joe and Jenny were going to visit their Aunt Sophie, who lived by the sea. They were both so excited they could hardly sit still in the car all the way there. Joe had wanted to take so many things with him that his father said there wouldn't be any room in the car for the rest of the family. So he decided on his fishing net, and Jenny had packed her bucket and spade. "I can see the sea!" cried Joe as they got near Aunt Sophie's house. "And there's Aunt Sophie," cried Jenny as they pulled up outside. Joe and Jenny jumped out of the car and rushed up to their aunt, giving her a great big hug. "Hello, Jenny." "Hello, Joe," said Aunt Sophie. "I bet I can guess where you two want to go." "To the beach! To the beach!" they both shouted together. It was a very hot sunny day, so Jenny and Joe changed into their swimsuits and walked down to the beach with Aunt Sophie. Jenny carried her bucket and spade, and Joe carried his fishing net. Aunt Sophie had packed a picnic for them all and found a nice, quiet spot on the beach where she could sit and read while the children played nearby. Joe went off to fish in a rock pool. He was hoping to find a crab or a starfish, but all he caught in his net was seaweed. Jenny decided to build a huge sand castle with a moat. She used pieces of rocks and shells to decorate the castle, and Aunt Sophie made her a flag with a stick and a piece of seaweed. Later, Aunt Sophie took them both for a walk along the seashore to see if they could find any treasures. Jenny found a hermit crab shell, and Joe found a piece of rock that looked a bit like a starfish. Then they decided to play chase in the water, splashing each other as much as they could. Aunt Sophie decided by now that the children must be hungry. "Come on," she said. "Let's have our picnic now." So Jenny and Joe raced each other back, and by the time they reached the picnic, they were very tired, but very happy and extremely hungry. As a special treat, Aunt Sophie brought them both a huge ice cream each, and then it was time to go home. Jenny and Joe had had a lovely day by the sea, and Aunt Sophie told them she'd bring them back tomorrow if the weather was fine. So they both went to bed that night, keeping their fingers crossed that it would be a sunny day the next day. And it was. You are, Bertie. A summer story for a summer's day. Can I have my sunglasses back now?
we're starting our picnic now. So it's time for us to say goodbye. But why don't you think about some of the things that you do in the summertime? And here are some pictures to remind you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Eat up, Bertie. For a crisp. Hello. I'm sweeping up all the leaves that have fallen off the trees because it's bonfire night soon, so I'm going to put all these leaves with all the other leaves and twigs and bits of wood and garden rubbish that I've collected to make a big bonfire for Bertie. Hello, Sue.
Hello, Brian. Oh, Bertie's bonfire's getting bigger.
Yes, he's getting very excited about bonfire night. He can hardly wait.
Where is he now? Oh, don't tell me. I bet he's asleep.
Yeah. I nearly swept him up. He's under that pile of leaves over there.
Well, I better go and wake him up, because he asked me to paint a picture of all the different colours you see in the garden in autumn. Bertie. Oh, there you are. Come on, Bertie. Wake up. Come on. Oh, off the end of your nose. There you are. Look, Bertie, I've painted a special autumn picture for you. Do you remember you asked me to tell you all about autumn and the different things that happen then? Well, I painted a picture of the tree in your garden. The leaves on the trees change colour in autumn, don't they? They change from green in the summer to red and brown in the autumn. Then what happens to the leaves, Bertie? Do you know? Yes, that's right. They fall off the trees, and everywhere we walk, there are leaves on the ground. Do you remember seeing the leaves on the ground in autumn? Come on, Bertie. Let's go and see what else we can find.
Hello, Bertie.
I've been showing Bertie all the different things in this autumn picture.
What else can you see in Sue's picture that is also in our garden? Any idea? The empty nest. Bertie knew that. You noticed last week, didn't you, that the bird family had gone? Well, you see, in the autumn, when the young birds have grown up, they leave their nest to fly away to a warmer country before the winter comes. But they'll come back next year to build a new nest.
What other animal can you see in the picture? Yes, it's a squirrel. Now, in the autumn, the squirrels collect all the food they need to eat in the cold winter days. They collect nuts and seeds that are still on the trees and hide them somewhere safe.
What else happens in the autumn? Well, the plants stop growing, the grass stops growing, and it becomes a bit colder. And so sometimes we have to put on coats and sweaters to keep ourselves warm.
And it gets dark earlier too. In the summer when we go to bed, it's still quite light. But in autumn, it's dark by bedtime.
And at the end of the autumn, it's time for bonfire night. When we light bonfires and have fireworks and sparklers.
And I've painted a picture of a big bonfire with lots of fireworks in the sky.
Rockets, Roman candles, sparklers. Bertie likes sparklers. He doesn't like the ones that go bang. Neither do I.
No, lots of animals don't like loud noises because it frightens them. So we must be careful with fireworks, mustn't we, Bertie? Where's he going now?
Bertie, what are you doing? Mr. Squirrel won't be very pleased when he comes back and finds you've disturbed his nest. This is his store of nuts. He harvested these to see him through the winter. The hazelnuts. Now you leave them alone, all right? Hop up on the hay. Look, I've been harvesting as well. All my vegetables. Let's see what we've got. Because by the end of autumn, most of the vegetables have stopped growing as well in the garden. So I've got here the last of my homegrown potatoes. I like potatoes. All vegetables are very good for you, very healthy. Onions. Onions are nice to flavour a stew and salads. I like raw onion in salads. Carrots, very good for you. Lovely and crunchy. You can eat them cooked or raw. They're nice raw, aren't they, Bertie? Cabbage, the crispy cabbage. That's nice raw as well, in salads. And do you know what this is? This is a marrow. Very big, very heavy. It's very nice. Cooked with butter and pepper, shaken all over it. Oh, making my mouth water. Now, do you think we should have a story? Yes. All about the autumn.
Are you ready for an autumn story, Bertie? This one's called Tom's Bonfire Party. Tom ran to the window. "Hooray!" he shouted. "It's getting dark. Can we light the bonfire now? Please?" "Not yet, Tom," said his father, laughing. "Let's wait for your friends to arrive. They'll be here in a minute." It had been the longest day that Tom could remember. It was his birthday, and all he could think about since he woke up early that morning was about his special birthday party, a firework and bonfire party. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door, and Tom rushed to open it. "Hello, Tom. Happy birthday," said his best friend, Ben. "Come and see my bonfire," said Tom excitedly, and the two boys raced off into the garden. Soon, all of Tom's friends had arrived, and it was time to light the bonfire. Tom's father told everyone to stand back whilst he lit it, because bonfires could be dangerous if you get too close. The boys and girls all watched from a safe distance as the bonfire started to burn. First, all that could be seen were a few strands of smoke coming from the bonfire. Then, within seconds, the fire was crackling away, and soon great big red and orange flames were shooting high into the sky and lighting up all the garden. Tom and his friends watched delightedly as the flames grew higher and higher. After a while, Tom's father called them over to another part of the garden where the fireworks were ready to be lit. Once again, his father warned the children to be careful and stand well back from the fireworks. First, he gave them each a sparkler, a small firework. It was safe to hold, and the children had great fun making swirly patterns with them in the dark. When the sparklers had finished, the children stood safely back while Tom's father lit the first firework. It was called a rainbow fountain. The fireworks sizzled, and then with a whoosh, a beautiful coloured rainbow filled the sky. "More, more!" cried the children, clapping their hands with delight. Next came a rocket, which shot into the sky and sprinkled thousands of tiny stars down into the garden and then disappeared over the rooftops. Suddenly, a Catherine wheel Tom's father had nailed to a post started spinning around and around. It got faster and faster and faster, spraying out pretty coloured lights, and it made Tom and his friends just dizzy watching it. Tom's father lit lots more fireworks, and Tom wished that they would go on forever. When the very last spark from the very last firework had died away, all the children gathered round the bonfire to sing "Happy Birthday to you" to Tom. And Tom said it had been his best birthday ever. Here you are, Bertie. Do you enjoy that?
That was a good story, wasn't it, Bertie?
It's getting cold now, though.
Yes, it is. I know a good song for warming you up, though.
Oh.
It goes like this. It's one finger, one thumb, keep moving. Do you know that?
I know that one.
Do you know that one, Bertie? He knows it. Right. If you don't know it, it's quite easy. You can soon join in with us. It starts off, one finger, one thumb, keep moving. Ready?
Yep.
One finger, one thumb, keep moving. One finger, one thumb, keep moving. One finger, one thumb, keep moving. We'll all be merry and bright. Now, you add your arm going, whoops, like that. Right, Bertie? Good. One finger, one thumb, one arm, keep moving. One finger, one thumb, one arm, keep moving. One finger, one thumb, one arm, keep moving. We'll all be merry and bright. Now you add your leg, like that.
Right.
That might be a bit difficult for you, Bertie. One finger, one thumb, one arm, one leg, keep moving. One finger, one thumb, one arm, one leg, keep moving. One finger, one thumb, one arm, one leg, keep moving. We'll all be merry and bright. In the last verse, a nod of the head on the end, like that. Ready? One finger, one thumb, one arm, one leg, one nod of the head, keep moving. One finger, one thumb, one arm, one leg, one nod of the head, keep moving. One finger, one thumb, one arm, one leg, one nod of the head, keep moving. We'll all be merry and bright.
I feel much warmer now.
Good.
But I still think I should go home. It's getting dark.
All right.
I'll take my pictures with me.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Bertie.
Yes, it is getting a bit chilly, so we'd better go indoors. But Bertie's getting sleepy after all that exercise. So we'll say goodbye and leave you to look at some pictures of things that happened in the autumn. Bye.
Right, Bertie, put a hat on.
Hello. It's been snowing, so we've been building a snowman. Bertie's never seen snow before, have you? Have you ever seen snow?
Hello. It's a cold, wintry day in the garden today. So we've got our warm winter coats on, scarves, hats, and boots. And this snow is very cold and wet. So we've got our warm winter gloves on to keep our hands warm. It's good fun playing in the snow, isn't it, Bertie?
Bertie's enjoying it, aren't you? He's never played in the snow before. Have you ever played in the snow anywhere? There are all sorts of things you can do. You can build a snowman like this.
Yes, and you can make some snowballs and play games with your friends. Be careful not to hurt anyone, though.
What else happens in the wintertime? Well, we all know it gets very, very cold. And there are no leaves left on the trees. And sometimes it becomes so cold that the paths and the roads all freeze over, become very icy and slippery. And we have to be careful how we walk, otherwise we fall down.
And sometimes ponds freeze over, and we can see ice on the outside of buildings and windows. Let's have a look over there and see something you have to do in wintertime.
Yes, we have to look after the birds, don't we? Because they can't always find enough food in the winter, so we put out food for them on our bird table. Now here I've got a tray of cereals and nuts, and these darker things are sunflower seeds, like the ones that Bertie and Sue planted in the spring.
Some birds fly to warmer places in the wintertime. But can you think of one bird that we do see in our garden in winter? Do you know, Bertie? That's right, a robin. He's a small brown bird with a bright red chest. You've got a robin in your garden, haven't you, Bertie?
I know a rhyme about a robin. If you know it, join in. The north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will poor Robin do then, poor thing? He'll sit in his barn to keep himself warm and hide his head under his wing, poor thing. Well, it's not that sad, Bertie. He's all right, he's just having a little sleep. And our Robin is very happy, isn't he? Eh? Because we put out lots of food for him. And on very cold, icy mornings, we put him out a nice bowl of fresh water.
I can think of something very special that happens in wintertime. And I know that Bertie's looking forward to it very much, aren't you, Bertie? Do you know what it is? We have a special tree in our house, and we put up decorations, and we write a very special letter. And we might see a man in a red suit with a big white beard. Have you guessed yet? Yes, that's right, it's Christmas. We put a Christmas tree in our house. We put up Christmas decorations. Let's put some on this tree. Yeah. And we write a letter to Father Christmas. And then on Christmas Day, we give each other presents. Here you are, Bertie. There's a present for you. Don't open it until Christmas Day. And we have a Christmas dinner with lots of Christmas pudding.
Yum, yum. Christmas pudding. That's one of my favourite things at Christmas, having Christmas pudding. Bertie likes Christmas, of course. He looks forward to going to bed early, then closing his eyes and listening for the sleigh bells that signal the arrival of Father Christmas's sleigh full of presents, pulled by the reindeer. Well, Sue is going to tell us a story all about one of the reindeer who was rather lazy.
Do you like a winter story, Bertie, to warm us up? This story is called The Lazy Reindeer. Everyone in Toyland was getting ready for Christmas. The toy makers were busy making all the toys. The postmen were busy sorting all the letters from the boys and girls. The reindeer were being brushed and their noses were being polished. The sleigh had been painted and Father Christmas had had his suit cleaned. Everyone was working extremely hard. Everyone, that is, except Ronald, the reindeer. Ronald didn't like working. He was the laziest reindeer that Father Christmas had ever owned. And worse still, he hated pulling the sleigh. Ronald was always getting in trouble for falling asleep or not helping the others. Last year, he was so lazy that Father Christmas threatened to leave him at home in Toyland to spend a miserable Christmas all on his own. But even that didn't help. The other reindeer all got very cross with Ronald because he would climb into the sleigh when no one was looking and hide amongst the toys so that he didn't have to pull it. Then, when the sleigh stopped on a rooftop to deliver the toys, Ronald would jump out and pretend he'd been working, just like all the others. So the reindeer all got together with Father Christmas and worked out a plan to stop Ronald's laziness once and for all. When they set off on Christmas Eve, the sleigh was piled high with toys, and it took all the reindeer's strength to pull it. But as usual, Ronald refused to help and climbed into the back of the sleigh, hiding amongst the toys, thinking that Father Christmas hadn't seen him. But he had. When the sleigh pulled up on the first roof, Ronald was about to jump out when he found himself being loaded into Father Christmas's sack and taken down the chimney. He found himself being tipped out with the toys and left tied up on the Christmas tree. What on earth was Father Christmas playing at? But before he could find out, Father Christmas was back up the chimney and off on the sleigh across the rooftops. "We'll come back for him later," he told the other reindeer, "when I think he might have learnt his lesson." No sooner had Father Christmas driven off in his sleigh than the very naughty boy who lived in the house got up to open his presents. When he saw Ronald, he shrieked with delight. His very own reindeer! Oh, hooray! He immediately jumped on Ronald's back, whooping like a cowboy and pulling poor Ronald's antlers so hard, Ronald thought they'd come off. The naughty boy kicked him to make him go faster and kept squeezing his nose to make him squeal. Just when he could stand no more, the naughty boy's mother woke up and told the naughty boy to go back to bed. Poor Ronald lay exhausted under the Christmas tree. He felt more miserable than he'd ever felt in his life. If only Father Christmas would come back and rescue him. He'd never do anything like that again. He'd promised he'd never be lazy again. Just when he'd given up hope of ever seeing any of his friends from Toyland again, down the chimney came Father Christmas. Well, Ronald, have you learnt your lesson? Do you promise to be a helpful reindeer in the future and stop being so lazy? Or would you like to stay here? Oh, no. No, please. Please take me back to Toyland. I promise I'll never be lazy again. Father Christmas did take Ronald back to Toyland, and so far Ronald has kept his promise. Every time he looks like going back to his lazy old ways, one of the other reindeer mentions a certain naughty boy, and Ronald is cured once more. Here we are, Bertie. You feeling any warmer now? You've got your scarf and your earmuffs on. It must be a bit warmer.
It was a good story, wasn't it, Bertie? So now we've seen all 4 seasons. Spring, summer, autumn, and now winter. And when we've said goodbye, you can see some other things that happen in the winter. So say bye-bye, Bertie. That's right. Now settle down, have a little sleep. Bye.
Bye-bye.